CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday, September 10th. 4 people were arrested Tuesday morning in North Bay thanks to an automated license plate reader. Around 12:30 a.m. yesterday, police conducted a traffic stop after an ALPR flagged the vehicle owner as a suspended driver. The vehicle was stopped, and during the interaction, the officer spotted a handgun on the floor by the driver's feet. A search of the vehicle found 2 imitation handguns, brass knuckles, and small amounts of cocaine and fentanyl. All 4 occupants were arrested and face various drug and weapons-related charges. Police say they were all from North Bay. Another day of above normal temperatures and, depending upon where you live, unsettled conditions. For her first check on weather, let's bring in CTV's Lindsay Alick, filling in for Rick Wyman. Lindsay?
Thanks, Tony. Your first weather brought to you by CAA. Become a member at getcaa.ca. Nothing but above seasonal temperatures for at least the rest of the work week. What about rainfall? We could see a little bit of rain as we head into the weekend, and I'll have all those details coming up in your 5-day forecast. But for right now, I'll send things back over to you, Tony.
Thanks, Lindsay. The man who was found guilty of the 2009 sexual assault and murder of a 15-year-old girl in Sudbury has been granted day parole to attend a substance abuse treatment program. Christopher LaValle and a 17-year-old accomplice assaulted, choked, and stabbed Whitney Vanderwooden while camping in the Minnow Lake area of the city before dismembering and burning her remains. The report on LaValle talked about his personal history with physical and sexual abuse and with addictions, noting that his behavior improved after being diagnosed and treated for a mental illness in 2017. He's since been moved to a medium security facility and is being recommended to go to a minimum security facility. In a post on social media, Whitney Vanderwooden's sister Hillary expressed anger and concern over the parole ruling, saying he didn't just kill her, he dismembered her, decapitated her, and burned her remains in 2 separate fire pits, adding, "This was not just murder, this was monstrous, calculated, and absolutely inhuman." LaValle is heading to a residential facility for substance abuse treatment in northern British Columbia. This is day parole for 90 days. After that, LaValle will return to jail at the end of his treatment. Council for the municipality of Fauquier-Strickland has decided how much it will increase taxes this year. Earlier this summer, it had said it was considering an 80% hike, but it got that number down considerably. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Taxpayers in the municipality of Fauquier-Strickland are facing a 20% tax increase this year. Council passed its 2025 budget last night.
The ministry was asking us to finally get a decision to get the taxes out so the municipality can have a financial flow, can have money to operate. Right now, we cannot.
Councillors say 20% is an amount they can accept.
It's going to take a while to get back on our feet, but we'll try to find ways to survive. So 20% is good with me.
I support my peers about the 20% increase. If we could have it lower, of course, it would be lower, but we do need to pay our bill. So 20% it is.
Mayor Tremblay says people may find the tax bills high because the water rates are included. Residents in attendance at the meeting didn't want their taxes to go up.
When is it going to end? We had 26 last year. It is so. The question is, we need to know it's going to end sometime.
We're just hearing, let's just raise the taxes. Let's just put it on the taxpayers. But we're here tonight to say, no, that's not what we want. We want to find out what happened and we want to make it right.
Tax bills will be sent out within 21 days of the bylaw being passed. The municipality is over $2 million in debt with no help from its bank and had no choice but to raise taxes. The province is working with the municipality and has agreed to give it $300,000 to ensure services continue on the condition council pass a budget and collect taxes. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
On Monday, a family in the greater Sudbury community of Skeed woke up to find their goat shelter empty. The T-Burt family doesn't know what happened that night, but they believe a bear or a large animal broke in and the goats ran off. 4 of the 7 goats took off, 2 of which are myotonic fainting goats. T-Bert believes the animals would stay together. In the past, when the goats wandered off, they were always found in a group.
They're pretty intelligent, and aside from predators, I think they would be able to survive. I just don't know for how long. They'd make it through 40 below weather in the winter, like they're pretty resilient. But so I don't know. I think they would be looking for a type of shelter.
The family has found tracks and signs of the 4 goats still on the lam. The T-Bert family is asking anyone with trail cameras or accessible sheds to keep an eye out for the family's pets. It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Lindsay has your full weather forecast. Right now, though, let's take a live webcam look at Elliott Lake. This is a shot from the Fire Tower Lookout, courtesy of the city of Elliott Lake. It's 22 degrees. We're back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome back. Well, certainly a different weather picture today as opposed to yesterday. We had quite unsettled conditions across northeastern Ontario with quite a bit of rainfall in many communities, even heavy rainfall as we headed into those evening hours. Now it looks like clear skies for the most part across northeastern Ontario, and that is going to continue for at least the next couple of days. You are going to see a little bit of rainfall creep into the weather forecast, but that's not until about Saturday, and it is only a slight chance for some showers. The good news is those above seasonal temperatures are here to stay for at least the next 5 days. Let's take a closer look with your 5-day forecast, beginning with Sudbury Nickel Belt. For tomorrow, partly sunny skies, a high of 20 degrees, dipping down to an overnight low of 7 degrees. Definitely going to feel a little bit chillier. Sunshine continues as we head into Friday, when there is a possibility of showers moving in on Saturday, and we get back to around that seasonal mark just in time for Sunday, but then it looks like things warm up on Monday. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, a similar weather story here. Mostly cloudy skies for tomorrow, a high of 22 degrees. Cloud cover continues on Friday before we could see a little bit more wet weather move into the weather forecast for Saturday. But as you can see, above seasonal temperatures here to stay. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, clearing tomorrow, nothing but sunshine, a high of 17 degrees, sitting right at that seasonal mark. We see that temperature warm up on Friday, and then it dips a little bit on Saturday as we could see some showers roll in. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, clouds clearing for your Thursday, a high of 18 degrees, an overnight low of 3 degrees. It's definitely going to be chilly in those overnight hours. But as we head into Friday, things warm up all the way to 23 degrees before showers are possible again on Saturday. Finally, North Bay, West Nipissing, cloud clearing for your Thursday, a high of 19 degrees, 20 for your Friday. Again, partly sunny skies sticking around before we could see some rainfall move into the forecast on Saturday. That's a look at your 5-day forecast. Tony, back over to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Despite how Ontario's premier feels about automated speed cameras, the mayor of Sudbury says his city has no intentions of getting rid of the technology. We get more from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
This is one of 6 automated speed enforcement, or ASE, cameras across Greater Sudbury. Premier Doug Ford recently called them a tax grab for municipalities.
I've driven by speed traps, aren't even close to school areas. It's nothing but a tax grab. Hopefully the cities will get rid of them, like Mayor Del Duca did in Vaughan, or I'm going to help them get rid of them very shortly.
But Sudbury Mayor Paul Lefebvre says the Premier's reaction is based on Toronto's 150 speed cameras. Sudbury has 6, and he believes they're helping reduce speed in high-priority areas.
Here's where the Premier's coming from, but basically, how many do we need in a city? Right now, we're very low and no intentions of growing. We're just trying to help people change a bit of that speed behavior because we want to keep our roads safe, because that's just not city council asking for this. A lot of our citizens is asking us to step up and keep our roads safe.
According to the city, the ASE program generated $753,000 in fine revenue in 2024, while it cost $325,000 to operate. That revenue is used to offset program costs and fund road safety initiatives. One northern city that decided against the speed cameras was Sault Ste. Marie. Its mayor agrees with the premier, saying the program is an effort to add money to municipal coffers.
What you've seen in communities that implemented automated speed enforcement is a shift from asking the police to enforce speeding to now asking the police to enforce vandalism against automated speed enforcement. And so it doesn't actually alleviate any of the problems of enforcement or reduce the amount of enforcement you have to do. It just changes the type of enforcement you're doing.
A recent survey from CAA found the speed cameras do change driver behavior, with 73% of those surveyed admitting they slow down when nearing a speed camera. The city of Greater Sudbury says data on the 2025 ticket counts and revenue will be presented at an operations committee meeting later this year. Meanwhile, the 6 speed cameras will be moved to new locations in October. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
The headquarters of Algoma Family Services in Sault Ste. Marie is going to get some upgrades thanks to provincial funding. Soo MPP Chris Scott made the announcement at the service's annual all-staff meeting. More than $400,000 will allow Family Services to undertake some critical roof repairs to the main site on McNabb Street. The location houses most of the staff and provides clients with youth justice services or one-on-one counseling. Chat for Chad, coming up on CTV News at 5. A North Bay firefighter remembers his late brother on World Suicide Prevention Day. This is World Suicide Prevention Day, and people in Canada and around the world are remembering their loved ones who have died by suicide and standing up for suicide prevention efforts. CTV's Eric Tashner has more from North Bay.
Not a day goes by that firefighter Wade Ringler doesn't think about his late brother Chad.
Chad and I were, best friends. He was my big brother. I knew Chad was struggling.
Chad was also a firefighter for 27 years, but his battle with mental illness ended after he took his life in January 2023 at age 47.
He gave a lot to this community in the fire service, was involved in minor hockey.
So Wade started Chat for Chad, a grassroots charity to bring awareness and resources to the people who need it most. Since March 2023, it's raised close to $1 million for suicide prevention initiatives.
It's been successful because everyone is touched in one way or another by mental health.
Every year, approximately 4,500 people in Canada die by suicide, and it's the second leading cause of death among youth and young adults.
Trying to make it okay and normal to talk and give people the confidence to step forward and have the conversation. If you don't show it, people don't know, and it's really hard to get help that way.
With the help of Chat for Chad, the North Bay Regional Health Centre was able to renovate its patient lounges at its Birch Maple Lodge and in the acute inpatient psychiatry unit.
Comfortable seating, computer resources for them to use, television for their relaxation. Prior to its renovation, we would, if you're walking by the lounge, it would be empty because it wasn't a comfortable, supportive space.
Also, with the help of Chat for Chad, the Canadian Mental Health Association is able to kickstart 2 new programs, an 8-week suicide grief and bereavement support group and a workshop to teach people to look out for the signs.
Chad would be so proud of our community.
Wade's delighted knowing Chad's legacy is going towards helping people with mental health struggles.
The support that's been shown, I know he's smiling down.
And he knows wherever he goes, Chad will always be there with him. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
There was a high-energy fundraising event in Sudbury today. The United Way Centre Aid Northeast Ontario hosted the first ever Big Red Pull, with teams competing to pull a fire truck across the finish line. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
It took teamwork and pull to get this fire truck 100 feet across the finish line. 11 teams took part, raising money to support community organizations.
The money will support over 49 local community organizations who are running programs for the most marginalized in our community. So we have 3 priority areas: moving from poverty to possibility, supporting children and youth, and building strong and healthy communities.
Greater Sudbury Fire Services provided the truck for the first ever Big Red Pull, which the United Way says was such a success it will become an annual event.
That particular truck there weighs approximately 25 tons. It does have a tank full of water in it, so that adds a bit of a disadvantage to those who are pulling it. But once you get that momentum going, that truck will roll pretty good on this flat level surface.
It was awesome. It was a rush.
Once you get it going, it's surprising how quickly you can build that momentum and get it across the finish line.
The fastest pull was in 16.62 seconds by the lead Team 1, made up of mine rescue members.
We got to compete with our fellow mine rescuers. We're all volunteer-based, so it's great when we could get out at an event like this and compete as a group in a team-building event. The energy out here today was amazing. It was good to see all the teams competing for a common goal.
All right, guys, let's go.
The Big Red Pull raised $18,000, which will stay local. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, he drove back from Calgary to his home in southwestern Ontario. When we returned, we talked with author Mark Lesley. You're watching First at 5. He has had a busy summer, not as if he has had much downtime. Writer and author Mark Lesley just drove back from Calgary, and at the same time he was also doing research for a new book. Mark now joins us from Waterloo. So great to see you again, Mark.
Always fantastic to chat with you, Tony.
So tell us about your trip to Calgary.
So I was there for a conference when words collide, and due to the Air Canada strike, I'm very supportive of the of the needs of the workers. I was forced to rent a car to get home because I needed to get back home for an author event I was doing. So I thought I would take advantage of the opportunity to see more of Canada. And because I have a book coming out next year with Walsack and Wynne, Ghosts of the Great Lakes, I thought, well, I planned on traveling to Thunder Bay and north of Superior to do some research. So why not take advantage of that?
And what did you find during your travels?
You know what? I found that every province, I hadn't been to the prairies before, every province is spectacularly beautiful. They have their own riches and the people. And I mean, it was just, I was only there for a few days, but wow, I can't wait to return.
And what tips do you have for new writers? I understand you've written more than 30 books, 35?
Yeah. I think every experience is an opportunity, right? I saw this opportunity to do some research, and now I can write from the perspective of what it is to drive through the prairies. Even Highway 11, when I was coming back through Ontario, I couldn't take Highway 17 because of an accident. So I said, well, I've never been to Timmins, so let's do it. You know, it's so beautiful, and there's so much fruit for content in all the things we experience in life. So take advantage of that as a writer. Pull that in, absorb it, be a sponge.
I'm wondering, do you go to bookstores and meet readers where they're at, or did you have an opportunity to stop into any bookstores during your travels?
Yeah, I did. There was a bookstore in Thunder Bay I had to visit. I was excited because a friend of mine who's a local writer there had been there, and I'd heard great things. So I had a wonderful conversation, not only with the owner of the bookstore, but also with a local artist who was there, you know, sharing some bookmarks and stuff like that. So yeah, I always make an excuse to get into local bookstore or library whenever I'm traveling.
Do you ever get recognized?
Very rarely, but when it happens, it's kind of an exciting thing. You know? So yeah. Sometimes it kind of shocks me, like, oh, you know who I am? As a Canadian writer, that's a difficult thing. You know, if you're not Margaret Atwood, and most of us aren't. Yeah, last time I checked, I wasn't. So it is kind of really exciting. And I've done lots of local events at various bookstores, and that's always such a thrill, such a pleasure to interact with readers.
In this day of digital media and people reading books through Kindle and other sources, I was surprised when my wife and I went into our local chapter store and saw all the people there that still have a passion for reading and books. I guess I'm not alone in that. Do you see that too?
Oh, 100%. I mean, still 60 to 80% of readers are still reading print books. And there's nothing like holding the book in your hand. There's nothing like signing a copy, personalizing it for a reader. So, you know, I do make a lot of money off of digital sales, but I still make a significant amount of income from print sales. So print and books are not going anywhere anytime soon.
Mark, always great talking with you. I wish we had more time. You take care of yourself.
Thanks, you too, Tony.
Mark Lesley was our guest, and to see more of our authors at our Northern Book Club, head to CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Last weekend, police officers and communities came together for the 5th annual Tour de Force on Manitoulin Island. More than 100 of them gathered last Saturday in Mindemoya for a cycling event to honor fallen law enforcement officers and the legacy of Constable Mark Hoving of the OPP. Hoving died in 2020. In Sault Ste. Marie, Every Breakfast Counts provides 9,500 free meals to local children with support from volunteers and community partners. The city says it averaged more than 1,000 meals per week during July and August when school programs concluded. And we're heading south of Sudbury down Highway 69 to the community of Britt. Gorley Roy emailed us a series of photographs. He says a lot of action at the dock in Britt. He spotted a chickadee, a beaver, and a crow. Always appreciate you thinking of us, Gorley. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And finally, the North Bay and Area Realtors Association presented checks to close to 30 area charities after raising thousands at its summer charity golf tournament. More than 50 golfers participated this year. The tournament raised close to $42,000, its largest fundraiser year ever. And the money was distributed to organizations that play a vital role in providing shelter, safety, and critical assistance in the face of challenges such as hunger, extreme weather, abuse, or disabilities. This annual event is in its 22nd year.
All of the food banks receive money. The Santa Fund. We've got every shelter in every region. Pretty much, yeah, like anything, hands, One Kid's Place, lots of different charities.
And the Realtors Association says it remains committed to supporting the communities it serves. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, folks, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.